Everybody calm down. There's not going to be a war. Okay? Greetings guys, it's the Irish Partisan here from Minsk. Apologies for not getting back to you guys over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This is because I had a number of health issues to attend to. But thankfully I'm back on the mend. I'm 100%. So I'll be back on more online from now until whenever. I have received a number of messages from you guys, the subscribers, asking me about the current situation here in Belarus. Now, this is not a political channel. Normally deals with travel, food, football, beer, nightlife, whatever. Well, I've decided to give my own take and give an objective take on what's happening so far. So if you have not been hiding under a rock over the last 2 to 3 weeks, Belarus is back in the news again for the wrong reasons. And this time it's about the migrants. So what is happening right now is approximately 3,000 to 4,000 migrants, mainly from Iraq, have gathered at the Belarusian-Polish border. The migrants are stuck in no man's land and they're facing against 12,000 Polish troops armed with tanks who are not allowing them into the European Union. So how did this all begin? How do we end up in this situation? Well, if you cast your minds back to approximately last May, opposition vlogger Roman Protasevich, while he was arrested in Minsk, he was on a flight from Athens to Vilnius when his plane was forced to land in Minsk. He was apprehended. The EU slapped sanctions on Belarus. EU stopped paying Belarus to patrol its borders. Because as you know, Belarus, like Turkey, acts as a natural screen in relation to migrants trying to get into the European Union. With the money not coming through from Brussels, Minsk kind of went like this. Well, you know, screw you. We're not going to patrol the border. The word got out. People started moving from the Middle East and started getting apprehended in Poland and moving on their way to Germany. And this is where we are right here, right now. Warsaw has accused Minsk of facilitating the movement of migrants into the European Union. And I have to say there is a kernel of truth about that, to be honest. So Warsaw also has accused Moscow of being ultimately behind this, despite no real evidence that Moscow is actually behind the flow of the migrants. Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, has hit back at the European Union, accusing them of double standards in relation to how migrants are treated on the Belarusian-Polish border and how they're treated in, say, Italy. And of course, he does have a point. Quite a number of commentators have also pointed out that the ultimate problem lies with the American and NATO-led wars and invasions in the Middle East that have completely turned the number of countries like Iraq and Syria upside down, of which many of these migrants come from. And to be honest, they do have a point. The invasion of Iraq hasn't gone well, really, to be honest with you. Where are we right now? Now, what has happened? We've got some latest news. So Belavia and Turkish Airlines have announced that they have stopped on flights from Istanbul to Minsk. And I actually explored this a little bit further. And I got a guy called Viktor Orban. Viktor Orban being the Prime Minister of Hungary. And Viktor Orban was recently in Ankara talking with his Turkish counterparts. And of course, we get this latest news. Well, why Viktor Orban? Well, if you know, Hungary and Poland are best buddies. And I think Orban probably did this to save Polish faces, because if you look at it, I think this whole thing has been rather hyped up. There definitely is a case where the Polish government have hyped up this in order to play to the gallery. Orban's diplomatic moves in Turkey, I think, have started to signal the beginning of the end of the current tensions between Belarus, Russia on one hand, and Poland and the European Union on the other hand. Because we've had some rather unusual statements from the European Union. Ursula von der Leyen has threatened to impose sanctions on Russia and also to impose sanctions on Aeroflot. Of course, Russia would probably hit back by banning all EU flights from overflying or flying to or overflying Russia. What should happen is that the EU, Moscow and Minsk should sit down and hammer out a deal. Because we have a situation where we have approximately 4,000 to 5,000 migrants stuck on the border between Belarus and Poland. You know, these people can't stay there forever, and they're caught up in a geopolitical tug of war between East and West. Suffice to say, although Poland does have a right in saying who can't enter their country, maybe while there are some genuine refugees stuck in the camps on the border, what could happen? A compromise could be reached in that they could be processed in the correct way under the UN Convention for Refugees 1961, while the economic migrants would be repatriated back to their countries of origin. As Sergei Lavrov mentioned, you know, maybe the EU could start paying Minsk in processing and repatriating the migrants. The European Union could help out as well by removing the threat of any further sanctions on Belarus. So that is what is happening right now, guys. So yeah, stay tuned. We could have some twists and turns in this yet over the next couple of days. I made a video about this about 2-3 days ago, and that's already out of date. So yeah, a lot happening here, and you can still come to Belarus via Istanbul if you come from a green categorized country. I'll put the links in below to help you out there. And so that is it from Minsk. That's an update from the channel as well. So stay tuned and stay cool.